And we're back with some more Arizona Coyotes franchise mode in FHM 10. And in this one, we have the continuation of year number 2. We're at the trade deadline now. We are currently 39, 24, and 3. So much better than I thought we would be doing at this point, especially after last year, where we had a total record of 42, 38, and 2 for only 86 points. And we're currently 3rd in the division. So at this point, unless we drop the ball big time after the trade deadline, it is pretty likely that we'll be making the playoffs this year. All that considered, I'll be taking Adam Bachfest off of the trade block, and we'll be extending his contract as this team has taken an unexpected turn. So we're certainly going to try to extend Bachfest here. I'll start out at 5.3. All right, I got him down to 5.75. I will definitely do that for Adam Bachfest. However, just because we're not trading Bachfest does not mean we're not making any trades. There is one trade that I do want to make involving a defenseman, but obviously not involving Bachfest. We are going to be making a trade with the Florida Panthers. They are in need of right defensemen, and it just so happens that they have a left defenseman on their trade block that I am very interested in. And that would be, as I try to find him, Olen Zellweger. He's a 2.5-star ability at 27 years of age, a 1-year contract at nearly $2 million in cap hit. Personality is okay, nothing particularly wrong with it. And what really impresses me about Zellweger is that, well, first of all, his attributes are very solid overall. He's got 18 speed, 18 shot blocking, 17 offensive read. Mental ratings are all overall very good. And then a look at his career stats. He has 29 points so far in 49 games played this year and a 69 grade. And his grade has been very, very consistent over the course of his career here in the NHL, constantly in the high 60s. I definitely want a guy like that on my team. And the best part of it is that he's on the trade block. Florida doesn't even want him. So I will absolutely be adding him to this trade. And it is going to be a 1-for-1 deal, as we will be sending Henry Muse back the other way. As we take one look at Muse here, I mean, he's got some pretty solid attributes all around. Nothing particularly wrong with him, but he hasn't been all that impressive so far in the simulation, at least not for me. 14 points is his high so far here in Arizona compared to what he did in Toronto with 37 points the year before that we started the GM mode. He's been a little underwhelming, to say the least. And you know what? This is an accepted trade offer by the Florida Panthers, or at least it should be. I mean, that's a good deal. I will take that any day of the week. And you know what? As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So hopefully for us, Olen Zellweger will be able to be that treasure for us, possibly in the playoffs, and push us through to the Stanley Cup. Finalized trade, there it is. Arizona and Florida have agreed to a 1-for-1 trade, sending Henry Muse to Florida and Olen Zellweger to your Arizona Coyotes. Welcome to Arizona, Olen Zellweger. So with that being done, I think it would be appropriate to instantly offer him a contract extension. He's looking for 5.1 for 3 years, and I would say as long as Zellweger can uphold his grades that he's been having so far throughout his career, which I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, then this should be a pretty good deal for Olen Zellweger. All right, so I managed to get him down to 4.66 for 3 years. I will definitely do that. So I think with that, we can simulate up to the end of the regular season and into the playoffs. So we're here at the end of the regular season, and we have finished 51, 28, and 3. That was an incredible season for your Arizona Coyotes. I was not expecting anything like this. As a matter of fact, looks like this was the best season for the Arizona Coyotes in quite some time. It looks like the 2009-2010 season where they had 50 wins and 107 points. Yep, this is an 105-point season for your Arizona Coyotes. So let's take a look at the player stats and see the roster responsible behind this great regular season for your Arizona Coyotes. So leading in points is Braden Yeager with 73 points in 77 games played, 39 goals as well. Then you have 69 points for Clayton Keller, 54 for Michkov and Cedar, 51 for Kevin He, 50 for Owen Beck, 44 for Zimmer, 39 for Zellweger and Walton. How many of those were with us for Zellweger? 10 points in 15 games played for Zellweger. I mean, he is a really good addition so far. Then you have Ivor Stenberg with 37, 33 for Savoie, 28 for Nasain and Vayu, and Bachfest, 24 for Kostuk, 21 for Fedorov, 18 for Nurse, 17 for Malgard, 16 for Moran, 13 for Von Richter and Hurt, 9 for Saylor, and 7 for Dufour. And then in goal, you have Kosa in 19 games played with an 898 save percentage, so it's a bit unfortunate. But William Lassell, our guy, with a 917 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and a 25.82 goals saved above average in 68 games played. He has been phenomenal so far, and I hope he keeps that up, because that would be so great to not have to worry about goaltending for once in this game. That would be such a relief. Or at the very least, not the starting goaltender position. We'll see about the backup, as Kosa did not do too great this season, unfortunately. But still, good to have him, and a young goaltender nonetheless, backstopping us like that. Now let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we are 15th in the league with a 3.35. That stayed relatively steady ever since the horrible start to the season, where we had, I believe it was a 3 goals for per game, and we were, 28th in the league in goals for per game. So that's definitely improved since then. Goals against per game, we are 6th in the league with a 2.96. Very good to see. Face-offs, we are 9th in the league with a 50.8. Power play, we started out, remember, with a 9%, somewhere around there. So the 16.5 is actually somewhat of an improvement. Obviously, it's still not great, but it's better, as we are 31st in the league. And the penalty kill is 12th in the league with an 80.4. So you know what? All things considered, I'd say that it was a pretty successful regular season, but now we got to follow it up with some success in the playoffs here. Oh, look at that. I mean, not that I'm surprised, to be honest, but William Lassell nominated for the Vezina Trophy. Good to see. Very good to see. And Andre Tourney nominated for the Jack Adams. So a couple of award nominations there. But of course, that all pales in comparison to the real prize here. That is the Stanley Cup. So as we head into the first round here against the St. Louis Blues, who are 53, 25, and 4. Let's make sure we can get past them, and this should be a good test for your Arizona Coyotes. I mean, they seem to have a pretty deep roster all around. They have Matty Beniers there as their star player. He had 65 points this year. So let's get right into this series against St. Louis. Game 1, first playoff game in the rebooted Arizona Coyotes franchise history. Sim game, that will be a 5-0 St. Louis victory. Yikes. Ooh, ouch. 56 shots to 22 in favor of the St. Louis Blues. 3 stars of the game, Stenberg, Unger Sorum, and Cristoforo. And obviously that Stenberg was their Stenberg, Otto Stenberg. So yeah, just a overall not good game for your Arizona Coyotes. As in the first period, you have Otto Stenberg with back-to-back goals for St. Louis to make it 2-0, and then Felix Unger Sorum to make it 3-0 heading into the second period, where Zach Dean and Reed Anderson score to make it 5-0, and that'd be all the scoring in the game. Yeah, that was not good. That was not pretty. And unfortunately, to make matters worse, Xavier Veilleux is now injured. Looks like it's a major injury as well. Yep, he is gone for 1 to 2 weeks. So there goes one of the guys who is normally on our first defensive pair, and we have to get Zellweger up there with Cedar. Hopefully that doesn't hurt us too much. But based on that first game, I just hope that we can make game number 2 competitive. So game number 2, sim game. Come on, boys. There it is. 8-4 victory. That makes up for it, at least somewhat. You know, it would have been nice to win game number 1, but I'll take it. Shots at 37-34. That's a little bit more even this time. Still in favor of St. Louis, but you know what? We got the 8 goals, so doesn't matter. 3 stars of the game, Bachvest, Keller, and Beck. Bachvest with the 4-assist game, Keller with 3 points, Owen Beck with 2 goals. So first period, you have Owen Beck getting the scoring started from Matvei Michkov and Houston Hurt. Then you have back-to-back goals for St. Louis over the course of 12 seconds from Stenberg and Pustovoy, make it 2-1. But then Owen Beck with the second of the game from he and Michkov to make it tied at 2. Adding in the second period, where Dufour scores on the power play from Nassane and Bachvest. Then you have Cohen Zimmer on the power play from Keller and Bachvest to make it 4-2. But then Robert Thomas for St. Louis on the power play. So a very active second period for special teams gets St. Louis back to within 1. Then you head into the third period, where your Arizona Coyotes just go off. You have Cohen Zimmer from Sather and Yeager to make it 5-3. Casper Nassane from Dufour and Bachvest to make it 6-3. Keller on the power play from Bachvest to make it 7-3. And then Keller again from Sather makes it 8-3. TJ Ginla gets the goal for St. Louis to make it 8-4, but it was not enough and nowhere even close, as we take this one by a final score of 8-4. All right, here we go. Going into game number 3 now. It will be a 4-1 Arizona victory. That's what I like to see. Shots at 35-27 in favor of St. Louis. So St. Louis continues to outshoot us, but it seems we're getting the better quality scoring chances as we take this one 4-1. 3 stars of the game, Bachvest, Lassell, and Keller. First period, you have Yeager with a goal from Bachvest and Keller to make it 1-0. And then about 30 seconds later, you have Owen Beck with a goal from Bachfist and Michkov to make it 2-0. Second period, Cohen Zimmer on the power play from Bachfist and Keller. Bachfist has been amazing so far. Very glad we didn't trade him. And in the third period, you have Oscar Malgard with the goal from Bachfist and Nassain to make it 4-0. TJ Ginla scores to make it 4-1, but that is all she wrote for game number 3. We are up 2-1 in the series. All right, here we go. Game number 4 will be a 6-5 Arizona victory. So we held on for dear life there as St. Louis once again outshoots us 50-46, but we managed to get just one more bye as we take a 3-1 lead in the series. 3 stars of the game, Von Richter with the first star of the game, Dean and Hurt. So in the first period, you have Houston Hurt open up the scoring from Kieran Walton and Ivor Stenberg. Then you have Owen Beck with the goal from Rhett Sather to make it 2-0. Kieran Walton with the goal from Parker Von Richter and Matthew Savoie to make it 3-0 heading into the second period, where St. Louis scores 4 in a row from Middleton, Beniers, Kovac, and Saliev, and that gives them a 4-3 lead. And then heading into the third period, you have Otto Stenberg with the goal to make it 5-3. But then later on in the period, you have Braden Yeager with the goal from Parker Von Richter to make it 5-4. And then Oscar Malgard follows up a minute later from Kasper Nassain and Carter Kostuk to make it tied heading into overtime, where Captain Clayton Keller gets the job done from Braden Yeager and Moritz Cedar to make it a 3-1 series lead for your Arizona Coyotes. Let's go. Oh no, Adam Bachfist is injured. I mean, it seems like he could play through it though. So yeah, I mean, he's been amazing so far. That'll be up to coach whether he plays or not, but we're doing pretty well so far. All right, here we go. Going into game number 5 against the St. Louis Blues. We're going into this one as this is an elimination game. So here we go. First period underway, and that'll be a goal right off the bat for Owen Beck from Houston Hurt, and it is 1-0 early in the first period. Oh, but there's a goal from Matty Beniers to make it 1-1. And that'll be it for the first period. We're tied at 1 heading into the second. Come on, Arizona. Oh, man, we have a goal for the St. Louis Blues. Felix Unger Sorum with the goal with 6 seconds remaining in the second period to make it 2-1. Come on, Arizona. Get me one here. Oh, man. Reed Anderson makes it 3-1. 4-1, Alex Ciernik. Come on, guys. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's happening here in this game. You got Rhett Sather with the goal, but too little too late, unfortunately, as that is a 4-2 St. Louis victory. Shots with 35-25 in favor of St. Louis. 3 stars of the game, Cristoforo, Beck, and Cormier. All right, come on, guys. Let's not give them anything here at game number 6. We do not want to go to a game 7. First period underway. All right, so we have a scoreless first period. We're being outshot by St. Louis 16-7. Not what I like to see. Come on, Arizona. There it is. Matvey Michkov from Owen Beck and Houston Hurt makes it 1-0. Come on, Arizona. There it is. Braden Yeager from Clayton Keller and Cohen Zimmer makes it 2-0. 3-0. Rhett Sather from Braden Yeager and Matvey Michkov. 4-0. Olin Zellweger, the trade acquisition from Keller and Zimmer. Unfortunately, Robert Thomas gets a goal, but we do have a sizable lead here heading into the third period. Come on, Arizona. Oh no, Jordan Kyrou. There it is. Kevin He from Beck and Michkov makes it 5-2. And will that be it? That will indeed be it. And we are moving on to round number 2. There it is. So we have some playoff success here in the first year of making the playoffs, I should say. And once again, St. Louis outshoots us, but we outperform 43 shots to 27 in favor of St. Louis. 3 stars of the game, Michkov, Beck, and Lassell once again with a 953 save percentage. Lassell has been so good. He has been very, very good. As we take a look at the playoff stats, yeah, 918 save percentage in 6 games played so far these playoffs. Now let's check out the skaters. You got Beck, Keller, and Bachfist all with 8 points each. Michkov with 7. We were pretty good in that series against St. Louis. Let's hope we can continue that momentum against whoever our next opponent is. And here's a look at the playoff bracket so far. You have the New Jersey Devils over the Philadelphia Flyers in 5. The New York Rangers beat the Atlanta Thrashers in 6. The Buffalo Sabres swept the Ottawa Senators. The Tampa Bay Lightning and Montreal Canadiens are still tied. They're going to a game 7. The Chicago Blackhawks beat the Anaheim Ducks in 5. Your Arizona Coyotes, of course, beat the St. Louis Blues in 6. The Edmonton Oilers beat the Minnesota Wild in 6. And then the LA Kings and Vancouver Canucks are tied heading into a game 7. And Xavier Veilleux has returned from his injury, so we'll be seeing him in game 1 of round number 2. And we'll be facing the 62-16-4 Chicago Blackhawks, who finished with 128 points. This is going to be a really, really good test for your Arizona Coyotes. Yep. I mean, obviously, Connor Bedard, they got Lashunov, who's a 5-star defenseman for them. 87 points this past season. Yep, this will be a huge test for your Arizona Coyotes. Yep, this is, oh man, they have such, wow. Yep, they have a really good roster. There's a reason why they're 62, 16, and 4. This is going to be a doozy. Yep, and they got no injuries either, besides that minor injury to Ekron Bratton. Or, well, I guess not minor. It's for 3 to 4 months, but he could still play technically. Yep, this will be probably one of the toughest playoff matchups we have in this entire GM mode. It would not surprise me if this ended up being our toughest matchup. But you know what? We can't let that discourage us. I mean, you know, we're certainly not as impressive on paper. That's obvious. But you know what? If we just play the way we've been playing for really throughout this entire season, then we should at least give ourselves a chance against the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's go into this with the mentality that we are going to win this thing. So here we go. Game 1 against Chicago will be a 4-3 Chicago victory. See, I mean, it was close. It was close in terms of the score, but oh man, shots. 63 to 32 in favor of the Chicago Blackhawks. 3 stars of the game. Bedard with the 4-goal game. That's just great. So he got all of Chicago's goals. Kevin He with the 2nd star of the game, and then Ket Sarov with the 3rd star of the game. Yep, this is going to be a doozy. First period, you have Adam Bachfest scoring 24 seconds in from Keller and Zimmer to make it 1-0, but then Bedard with back-to-back goals to make it 2-1. Then in the second period, you have Braden Yeager with the goal from Keller and Von Richter to make it 2-2, but then Connor Bedard with the hat trick makes it 3-2 Chicago. Third period, you have Rhett Sather with the goal from Beck and Kevin Heath. So we actually got to overtime, but once again, Connor Bedard, being the absolute stud that he is, makes it 4-3 Chicago. And so like we took it to overtime. That's the impressive part about this game, is that they outshot us by a wide margin, by almost double, and we still made it a game. So that makes me hopeful for game number 2. It shows that even when they're dominating us, we can still hang in there, and that we can give ourselves a chance to win game number 2. So here we go, game number 2. That will be a 4-1 Chicago victory. And the shots, okay, so the shots are a little bit more tame this time, much more tame, in fact. Shots were 39 to 35 in favor of Chicago. 3 stars of the game, Vlasov, Keysweater, and Bedard. No scoring in the first period. Second period, you have Lucas Reichel with the goal to make it 1-0. Roman Katsarov to make it 2-0. Heading in the third period, where Bedard and Reichel score to make it 4-0, but then Parker Von Richter with our lone goal of the game from Kieran Walton makes it 4-1, but unfortunately that was not enough. So we head into game number 3, down 2-0. Yeah, I mean, you had to expect it from Chicago. I mean, they're obviously a very good team. I don't think there's any denying that. So as we head into game 3 here, I think we just have to block out the noise and just focus on playing how we know how to play, and hope that they make some mistakes there. You know, all the pressure is on them, right? They're certainly the favorite to win this series. All we have to do is play. So here we go. Game number 3 will be a 7-2 Chicago victory. Oh man, that's ugly. 57 shots to 18. Wow. Yep, they're a good team. I don't think there's much to be said. I don't think there's any other explanation than that. I mean, they're just they're a force. 3 stars of the game, Westergaard, Larange, and McLeod. First period, we actually scored first. Xavier Veilleux from Bachfest and Keller makes it 1-0. Second period, we took a 2-0 lead at one point. Clayton Keller from Zimmer and Yeager makes it 2-0. But then it's Hartman and Bedard with the late goals in the second period to make it tied at 2 heading into the third. And then it's all Chicago from that point on. Jeremy Larange with 2 goals to make it 4-2. Landon Dupont to make it 5-2. Patrick Thomas makes it 6-2. And Max Westergaard on the power play makes it 7-2. And yep, backs against the wall here, down 3-0. Like at this point, all the pressure's on them. Just go out and play, you know, just do the best you can. So here we go, going into game number 4. Let's just play solid defensively, and maybe something will come of it. Oh boy, there's a goal right off the bat for Connor Bedard. That does not speak well for the rest of the game. All right, that's the end of 1. Chicago's out shooting us 18-7, and the score is 1-0 heading into the second period. Come on, guys, give me 1. All right, I mean, we didn't give up another goal there. We're heading into the third period, down by 1 still. Shots are 25-13. Come on, guys. There it is, Owen Beck from Michkov, and he makes it 1-1 late in the third period, and we are headed to overtime. Shots are 30-23. In favor of Chicago. Come on, boys. Push it to a game 5. There it is. Braden Yeager with the goal, and we are headed to game 5. Okay, so we made it respectable. We have proven that we can win against the Chicago Blackhawks. So that's, you know what? At this point, that's all I care about. Let's keep it going into game number 5 here. Shots with 31-25 in favor of Chicago. 3 stars of the game are Beck. Korchinski, and Michkov. All right, here we go. Game number 5, we're going into this one as well. Wow, we're outshooting them like crazy so far. Look at that. Look at the shot total. 12-4 in favor of your Arizona Coyotes heading into the second period. Scoreless though, so we still have a chance here. We're still in this thing very much. There it is. Clayton Keller with the first goal of the game from Ivor Stenberg and Olin Zellweger. And there's another one, Oscar Malgard from Matthew Savoie and Kieran Walton. All right, I'm not going to get too excited yet. I mean, this is still very much in Chicago's favor here, but, you know, we're doing well. We're doing well so far this game. Jeremy Larange with the goal to make it 2-1 for Chicago's first goal of the game. All right, and in the third period, up by 1. Come on, Arizona. Oh, Lasov with the goal makes it tied at 2. Come on, Arizona. Oh, Carson Cameron with the goal with 1:02 remaining. You gotta be kidding me. That's unfortunate. And Chicago wins 3-2, and unfortunately we are out in game number 5. So unfortunate for sure. I mean, they were obviously the much better team, but you know what? I think we gave it some fight there towards the end, especially game number 4 where we pulled off the win, and even in game number 5 up until the very end where we gave up that last minute goal. But, you know, I think there was still a lot to like about our first playoff appearance in this franchise mode. Certainly a lot to build on, but certainly still more to do. So all in all, a good season for your Arizona Coyotes, but we definitely got to build on it for the future. Hopefully guys like William Lassell can keep up what he's doing and continue to grow as a goaltender and hopefully become one of the best in the league. I mean, he's already one of the best in the league, in my opinion. He's obviously a contender for the Vezina, as we saw he was nominated, in fact. That being said, some of the key players on our team are kind of getting up there in age. Clayton Keller's 32, Bachvist is 30, Cedar is 30. So we're kind of in a unique position here due to the fact that I was just not expecting this kind of success this year out of this team. So we're going to have to find a way to stay good while we infuse this roster with some young blood, you know? So it's certainly an interesting challenge that has been brought about here by this team. But you know what? Very welcome. It's a very welcome challenge, as this was, once again, a very good year for your Arizona Coyotes, and hopefully we can build off of it in the future. But before we simulate any further, let's check out the playoff stats. You have Clayton Keller with 13 points in 11 games played. He was good. Beck and Bachvist with 10, 9 for Jaeger, 8 for Zimmer and Michkov. Now, I'm not sure how many of these points all came from the first series. Still, I would say it was a pretty good first run all around. Rhett Sather with 7 points. Then you have Hurt, He, Nassane, Walton, and Von Richter all with 4 points. 3 points for Malgard, 2 for Dufour, Zellweger, Stenberg, and Savoie. Then you have 1 for Veilleux, Kostuk, and Cedar. And in goal, of course, we saw the .917 save percentage for William Lassell. 25.82 goals saved above average. I mean, he's been such a beast so far in his career. So hopefully that can continue throughout the rest of the GM mode. So I guess with that done, let's go ahead and see who wins the Stanley Cup. And there it is. Yeah, I mean, no one was stopping Chicago. Not even the New Jersey Devils, who took them to 7 games. And they actually went up 3-1 at one point, did the New Jersey Devils. But Chicago won the next 3, and they win the Stanley Cup. This is their 7th championship and their first since 2015. So with that, I think one thing's off here. And the next one, we will get to the offseason of year number 2 with your Arizona Coyotes.